everybody. Welcome to the first ever episode. Well, I'm holding up my hands for 8, but it's actually episode 4. Can you believe we've been doing this for this long now?
I know. It feels like just yesterday when we started.
Well, it was like only 3 weeks ago or something like that. I don't know. It's crazy.
Something like that.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Welcome, everybody. I'm one of your hosts, Erek. This is the Breakfast of Champions podcast, the podcast dedicated to 3 things: coffee, games, and life. We're gonna have a great time talking about stuff. But before I introduce anything and talk to anybody, I need to get my fix here. So we've got a cold brew coffee. This is a St. Ali coffee. This is made in Melbourne. Organic black coffee, fresh and juicy.
Look at you, so fancy.
I try. Anyway, how are you? How's it going? How's your week been?
Oh man. I've had a roller coaster week, let me tell you.
Let's hear it.
So I had a Toyota Tacoma, and my wife and I, we really don't need 2 cars. So I had the idea, you know what? I don't need a car payment anymore. I'm just going to sell it. Well, the fact that there's no used inventory for car dealerships really put me at the advantage. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go sell my truck and buy a motorcycle because I want something that's paid outright and that I can just run around the block here or run a couple blocks down to the supermarket. So like a dual sport little mopedy bike kind of thing would be perfect for me.
Okay.
So that was like my first train of thought. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll get the ball rolling and get my truck sold. So I go, and this is something I told you, before we went live. I was sitting there in my driveway. So normally trucks have running boards on them. And mine were, from sitting there, they were kind of rusted out. So what I did before I took it to Toyota, I'm chiseling away the rust, everything else, like the paint, peeling all that off. And I go and I grab a little pint of black house paint, and I'm laying in the driveway with black house paint, painting my running boards to take it to the dealership. So I take it to the dealership. And they're like, yeah, we definitely want it. Here's our offer. You have to come back Friday. This was Wednesday when I went. They said you have to come back Friday because our mechanic that looks at, cars coming in on trade or this, that, and the other, he's not here. He works 9 to 2. And I'm like, oh, that must be nice. Work at 9 to 2. How do you score that at those hours?
That's nice.
So, I'm sitting here like, okay, that's fine. No big deal, because the bike I was looking at, you needed to put a deposit on it. So I did that the week prior.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, it won't be in until the end of the month, maybe even first week of August. They called me Thursday and they said, hey, it's ready to be picked up, ready to go. And I'm like, my guy, I can't do anything right now. Still have to sell my truck. So Friday comes and I go to Toyota. They're like, all right, cool. Well, we need to get the paperwork sorted out. So here, sign all this stuff. And then the last thing they gave me was a letter that said, we promise to pay you this amount when the title is received from the bank.
Oh boy. Something
I did not take into consideration. Now I have to sit here. I'm supposed to call the guy at the bike shop Tuesday to tell him, hey, can you hold it? Can I put another deposit down so you can hold it longer for me while I wait for all this stuff to happen? So normally what I should have done was sold the truck. Then, when I got the check from them, put that in, you know what I mean? Do the A, B, C, D. But because I can't make anything easy in my life, I've been like this for years. I'm starting at the beginning and I jumped all the way to the end, but now I have to backtrack and...
So I think I've got a photo of your Kitsune bike. This is what we're calling it.
That's it.
This is it. So it's a little Honda thing. This is like I don't know, but whatever it is, it looks like it goes fast, and you got something on the back there, so you can do Uber Eats as well if you wanted to do that.
So get this. So I don't know if a lot of the Australians in your chat would know this, but that used to be the Australian mail bike. They call them posties down there.
Yeah, we got my friend Large Theodore in the chat just said that's a postie bike. So good. Yeah, I literally we see them a couple times a day. It's hilarious. I love it. That's great.
So that's what I'm trying to get. So I figured that'll be the Kitsune Cruiser, and I'll be hitting the streets at some point. I don't know when, because I have to wait for everything in the middle to work out. But that was the one thing I was dealing with. And then Saturday, I went to a hockey game, but it wasn't just like an ordinary like NHL hockey game. Yeah. So that there is a new league they started called 3 Ice. So you have 3-on-3, no penalties, there's no contact, no penalties. There's no stoppage of play. Each round, because it's a tournament style, each team plays for 8 minutes at a time. So we were sat, you can see there, like, let's say 4 or 5 rows behind the benches. So we were there. We were on TV at one point, because if you go like, I know it's hard to see on here, but if you were to go like straight and then up, that's where the announcers for CBS Sports were sitting.
Yeah.
And my brother and I were situated like, here's one guy, here's the other, and you could see us right in the middle.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You were on
so
TV.
That was it was really like this being the first year that 3 Ice has been a thing. I really want to go to it again, because it was a good time. It made me realize how much I miss live hockey.
That's awesome. I never got into hockey, and hockey is very much a thing that was a thing growing up. Of course, you grew up in Pennsylvania. I grew up in Pennsylvania. Oh my gosh, it's like we're brothers or something. Isn't that just so cute?
Yeah.
But it's really cool, because hockey is just such a thing over there. And I don't think hockey is super popular here. Do you have your field hockey and all that kind of stuff that I think some people do play, but of course it just gets so hot here. You can't really have an outdoor rink. For a large period of time. But I mean, there are indoor like skating rinks and stuff here, but I don't really even know where they are, to be honest with you. So that sounds like it was a fun time.
Dude, it was awesome. What was really cool. So the part up top there that's all blacked out, that's other seating. That's usually where I sit when I go to because that's where the Pittsburgh Penguins play. So I get the cheap seats in the nosebleed, because there's never a bad view in a hockey arena. There's enough to see. You have the Jumbotron, so it's like there's never going to be a bad seat. But to be at that level was pretty interesting, because there's a lot of stuff. Each level has different like things you can see as you walk around, and one of them had hockey jerseys from every high school team in Pennsylvania, and then nice. All the the junior leagues for like Ohio, West Virginia, and I want to say there was one for New York, like one of the New York teams. It was really cool to see that, because I'm like, oh, look at that, there's my high school hockey team, and then I'm seeing like stuff from out east in PA, and I'm like, oh wow, like that was a surprise to see, but it was. Overall, dude, it was a wonderful time. Like I said, I would do it again. I really hope that the 3 Ice really takes off and they can get enough revenue to do it again.
Well, that sounds good. There's a lot of spin-offs of like football leagues. There's alternate I think it's like a fan control football, like the FCF or something like that, and that has some at least in the US, they have like some popular, NFL players or ex-NFL players and stuff like that. And there was the XFL as well, which I tried to get into for a little bit, but just because it played in the off season of the NFL. I don't know, but then they went bankrupt because they're the pandemic or whatever. Before I tell you how my week went, I wanted to play a voicemail. Just remember, guys, if you wanted to call into the show at any stage and leave a voicemail, it's 1-315-314-4190. I have one voicemail left to play, so it's a 100% chance of you guys to call in and leave a message. There will be a chance for you guys to call in later today. We will be giving some things away for a audience participation kind of thing. So voicemail, I have no idea what this is or what it's going to say, but let's go ahead and play it, because last week's was pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is.
Okay, into the pit. We got coffee versus Baja Blast. Ready? Let's get it on.
Oh my God.
Okay. So it's coffee versus Baja Blast. Well, of course I'm going to pick coffee, and of course you're probably going to pick Baja Blast. So
I was going to say, we already know who's going to win Baja Blast.
Why don't we? Okay, because for everybody listening after the fact or watching on YouTube, this is a live show that is streamed on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ErekLadd, ErekLadd. Let's do a poll right now. If one of the mods in the chat want to do a poll, coffee versus Baja Blast. Let's go ahead and do that poll. We'll come back to that in just a moment here. So I've had a relatively low key week. I've been getting some mail lately. I grabbed the Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers soundtrack on vinyl. And for those that don't know, Chrono Cross is a sequel to one of the greatest games of all time. And it's just, the soundtrack is absolutely just beautiful. And this is like all new arrangements and stuff like that. So all new arrangements of songs that we know and love from this game. So it's just an 8-song vinyl, so it's relatively short. But I've been playing it like a dozen of times since I got it on Thursday, and it's actually really nice. It's a very chill and low key, kind of folky soundtrack. Really great.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really good. I love my video game vinyl. I've got the 2 that I made behind me. And I wanted to say too, speaking of music, because I haven't said this at all on the show, I hope everybody's enjoying the tunes for the show, because I made those like specifically for the show to have a specific vibe. I really love the intro song and all the transition songs as well. But yeah, of course, I'm a music fiend. I love creating music and I love listening to these songs. So it's a great album. So check that out. What else have I? I've just been really busy just doing things. I've been collecting some PlayStation games. Like literally 5 minutes before the show, I had a mail arrive, and this is great. Now I know you would never dabble in this because you have a Steam Deck now, but we got ourselves a PlayStation 2 that came in the post.
If there is a way, Eric, to hack that fat boy there. If you want to know it, let me know. I'm
well aware, and it involves doing the network port in the back. It's called that's called free HD or free and basically free McBoot. And I'm gonna do that because not that I want to play like backups or anything like that, because I like to collect games and I like to have my physicals. But there's something called free McBoot, and what it allows you to do is play games from other regions, which is what I'm pretty interested in, because there's some games that are really expensive here in Australia, the PAL versions, but you can get the American versions cheaper, like from the States or whatever. So I actually had a PS2 Slim that I got, and I trade that in because it just I'm gonna get more functionality out of the old school PS2. So we scored this. It actually came in the box. It came with like a ton of other games that I don't know why they sent those.
Hey, can't beat that though.
Yeah, so it came with Dogs.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
King of Clubs. What is this? What are these?
Nice.
DreamWorks Over the Hedge.
There you go.
FIFA 2005.
Oh, just throw that right away.
Garfield 2.
Garfield 2. My God.
I didn't ask for these.
Well, hey, I mean, it's always something that you can either keep or.
It also came with Madagascar, the game.
Oh man, you got some real hits there. I'll tell you that.
Nothing like shovelware to start up your PlayStation collection.
No, not at all. Not at all. Hey, you have to start somewhere when you're collecting something.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. I don't think anybody was able to do the poll in chat, but I would just assume that coffee would win.
See, I don't know. We have a lot of Taco Bell fans in there. I'm just saying.
Let me. Oh, I can't do the poll. I don't know how to do it. It's fine. I don't use. I barely know how to do all this stuff as it is.
I was gonna say I know I don't.
Not to get. Oh, about to get a poll. Okay, mods in the chat are gonna do that. Speaking of, I wanted to shout out something else that you guys can collect. So listen to this. So we people have been asking for it, and I have been so happy to finally deliver. We have podcast merch.
Hey,
so there currently, since we're live streaming the show, there's a link in the chat right now. It's going to my Retro Game Remix website because that's where I have all my merch hosted. Later down the track, I'll shift it to its own thing. But if you want to get a Breakfast of Champions coffee mug available in 13 and 15 ounces, plus the Breakfast of Champions t-shirt, you can go grab that now and obviously rep the swag for the show, your favorite show. A couple other things. Thank you to everybody who's been listening on Apple and Spotify and YouTube and all that stuff. Please make sure you're reviewing and rating and sharing with your friends. We want to try and grow this thing as best as possible. So we really appreciate everybody's support and everybody listening here. Did you know that there are a lot of people around the world that listen to this show?
I mean, why wouldn't they? You know, aren't we we're the only people doing something like this? So I mean, who else are they going to listen to?
There are only 2 white guys that are in the close to the 30 range doing this in the world. So I thought you would find this interesting, and I actually meant to get a photo up for this, but there are a handful of countries that we are listened to in. 3 episodes deep. This is episode 4, so it's not too bad. These are some good stats. So 5 countries total. U.S. 56% of our listeners are in U.S. 33% of our listeners are in Australia. 4% are in the UK. 3% are in Germany.
Yeah,
and 1% is in Canada. So we've got listeners all around the world. Like I can log into the distribution thing and see where our listeners are listening from, the top cities in the world. Crazy.
That is cool. That's something I always like to see. You know, where everybody is as far as like, you know, who's listening to the show, where they are, because it's interesting to see. You know, because when you do something like this. And like in my mind, it's like, okay, the only people who are listening are those that are tuned in. But for it to be out there, you know, and like obviously other people are finding it, discovering it, what have you. That's always cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if we look at the YouTube stats, and like this is the thing is I'm not super fussed on YouTube stats because it's still growing. But we've got 67 subscribers. The last video, which was the one that we had with my friend Chris. Our new friend Chris from Microgame in upstate New York got 132 views on YouTube. Our first episode has 194. Episode 2 has 95. So like people are watching. So we're doing something interesting.
Absolutely, and it's just cool to see that people are enjoying what we're doing. You know. Yes.
Did you happen to catch the results of the poll as well?
I did not. Let me see here.
It was 10 people voted for coffee and 5 voted for Baja Blast.
Oh man. Well, that's okay. That's
so
all right.
Thank you.
I'll let it slide this time.
Thank you for voting in the chat. Thank you for the voicemail there.
Real quick before I forget, I did promise Bearwolf I would let him know live on the show what I thought of the song he recommended me to listen to, and that was "Sleeping on the Blacktop" by Coulter Wall, and it is really good, dude. I enjoy it. It was definitely something I'm into, so I'm gonna give that guy some more listens because it was really good. It's definitely up my alley and reminds me of the classic country music that I actually like. None of that new stuff about the tractor won't run and you know the wife left him for God knows what.
My wife left me for John Deere.
Oh my God.
All right, we are in episode 4's Newsbyte. What have you got for us today, Aaron? I'm interested because we've got our Google Doc that we do during the week. And then we finally get together and we write some things down. And you've written something down in here that I would consider pretty interesting and compelling. And I would like to know about it.
It is. So somebody and they claim that their PS5, and I'm looking off here at the actual little thing here, and this is from Tech Radar, that the class action lawsuit is being filed due to the PS5 shutting down entirely during gameplay.
Really?
And they're claiming that the defect affects users' ability to play video games and compromises the primary function and overall usage of the PS5, which can also lead to corrupt saves and potentially all your stuff being wiped.
Have you ever had this happen while you've been playing at all?
So I haven't had it happen when I'm playing, but I will like when I was playing my PS5, I would shut it down normally, and I would still get I would turn it on, and it would say, "Oh, sorry, you shut it off wrong. This could lead to potential hard drive issues, this, that, and the other. We're going to go ahead and run the system check and blah, blah, blah." And then it turns on normal and everything's fine. I have yet to have it happen during gameplay. So this is very interesting that somebody is that frustrated enough to go be like, yeah, I need to file a class action lawsuit. Here's myself and a group of people who have had this happen.
Really?
I know that there was supposed to be one out there for the DualSense, but with drift, because that's something I experienced with like the first month I had my DualSense, it started drifting. So I ended up buying a second controller, which wasn't too bad, because when I want to play something with Mrs. KB, I just give her the drifting controller and go, I don't know why you're doing so bad.
Why is my guy keep walking to the left?
Exactly. I don't know. What are you doing? But yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because it just seems like Sony keeps having issues with this console launch. They have issues getting the console out there to people, and now if somebody's saying, "Yo, your software is beat, you're going to have to pay me for my losses," like I've never heard somebody saying, "Oh my God, I lost my saved data. Please pay me now."
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like this is definitely going to be interesting to see. And consoles always have some sort of hardware issue or software issue.
Of course.
And usually the companies are quick to fix it.
It's funny. Funny coming from Sony that if there's an issue that they wouldn't essentially squash it out straight away, because I mean, if something goes wrong with like the PS5, I mean, the 20 people in the world that have been able to buy PS5s will be able to say, I mean, like my issue with the PS5 is we weren't able to get our hands on it for the longest time. And with resellers and scalpers and stuff, which, are the devil. I mean, it's fine if you want to resell stuff, but like getting brand new stock of PlayStation 5s and then flipping them for 20% higher, like that's not cool. And like people have been doing that for a long time. And luckily, we were able to get our hands on one because Amber got one through the department store here, Big W, and she followed some Twitter page and the PS5 info. I'm sure if she's in the chat and she's listening right now, she'll tell how difficult it was. But it was basically like you had to kind of like pre-sign in to Big W's website, so that way you could just instantly check out and get all the stuff straight away. So it was a hell of a thing. And then it finally showed up, and I was like absolutely flabbergasted that it came in, and I couldn't believe it. Like I had never seen a PS5 until I actually got it, and this was like 2 years or whatever, a year later.
Yeah.
And this is funny too. We've got a friend in the chat, our Large Theodore. He said one of my mates runs that PS5 stock Twitter page. So and I think Large Theodore works in like software development, stuff like that. So if you're pretty savvy, and you gotta know how on how to put together these like alert bots, so that way when Target gets a new drop or like Walmart gets a new drop, it's just like it pings a tweet and it's like stock available now, and then they just sell out straight away. So it's been really difficult to get them.
I know. On my end, sorry about the dogs. They agree too, man. That it's just real hard to get a PS5. They want one too, because I won't let them play mine. But I was one of the lucky few that when Walmart went rogue and decided to go ahead and just say, yeah, here, pre-orders are available ahead of the pre-order date, I was in disbelief that I actually got through. So it's definitely it's a weird time to be a gamer just in general. I mean, it's hard to get a PS5. It's still hard to get an Xbox around here.
Interesting. I feel like
that's kind.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. You're fine.
I was just gonna say it's kind of why I like how Valve did the Steam Deck release in these waves. So like if you reserve it, you're gonna get one. You just don't know when. So why not, instead of having to wait around and wait for a Twitter notification, to just reserve it and then there you go, you're done.
That's right.
I mean, same with Switch. I remember the OLED was kind of hard to come by too.
It's funny because the OLED, I got that on day one. Like I pre-ordered it like the day before, because I was just like, we'll grab it. I'll get it for the YouTube channel and whatever business expense, quote unquote. And like he made videos about it and stuff. And it's a great console. But the Xbox I haven't really paid attention to lately because I think I'm off the Xbox train, and I think I've been away from the whole Microsoft camp for several years. And like the Xbox One, they had a few games, but there's really been, honestly for me, nothing super compelling. And unless they do like an exclusive like Banjo-Kazooie game on Microsoft, I see it myself never going back into the Microsoft ecosystem. Yeah, it's just a lot of the regardless, there's going to be a lot of companies and consoles that have issues from the get-go. But I find it, back to your original topic, interesting that somebody actually wants to sue Sony for this thing.
Right. And I like I said, I'm curious to see what comes out of this, because it's either going to be that Sony somehow admits there's a hardware flaw, or they find a flaw in the software and they just push an update. And then, sorry, not sorry, your case is dropped because Sony said, oh, yeah, we fixed it for you. Here you go. You're good to go.
Well, if they can patch it out, then great. But it doesn't.
Exactly.
There are some people that may not be able to get the update or whatever. And that was the one compelling thing with Microsoft back in when they launched the Xbox One. It was this always on thing, and they always tethered to the internet kind of deal. People were kind of upset about that because especially here in regional Australia, there are some areas where you just can't get internet at all. And the whole Tesla, what is it called, the Space Link or SpaceX or not SpaceX, but
Starlink, I think.
Starlink, that's it. My gosh, allowing people in regional areas to have pretty reasonably fast internet through satellite internet. It was a compelling thing that I even considered looking at for a little while too. So, when stuff like that was introduced, I feel like the infrastructure wasn't quite ready, and it's still kind of not in certain areas anyway.
It'll get there. It just, these things take time, and unfortunately, with the way the tech world is operating right now on limited stock for components, I mean, it's just going to be a slow rollout for everything, and I'd rather them take their time than try to find a cheaper alternative and rush it out. Sure.
Speaking of internet things. My topic for the Newsbyte, and I almost wanted to turn it into today's topic, but for today's topic, we've got a really fun and lighthearted one. But I love one of my favorite games, one of my favorite franchises is Final Fantasy, specifically Final Fantasy VII. I love Final Fantasy VII. You're doing a playthrough right now, are you? You're enjoying it?
I am. I'm from what it looks like in my walkthrough, I'm about 3/4 of the way done with the entire game.
Nice.
So I'm right there towards the end. I haven't played it for a couple days because I'm trying to stretch it out a little bit.
Yes, fair enough. I love Final Fantasy VII. I have a PAL copy of it here. It's a complete copy, the original Black Label copy. Disc 1 doesn't work. Don't put Vaseline on it, by the way. Well, that's, if you know, you know. There's a thing happening now with Final Fantasy VII, and I want to bring it over to our React screen here. So let me ditch the hockey pictures. So Final Fantasy VII is one of the most esteemed games of all time. It is a game that defined culture, right? And Square, the company who makes Final Fantasy VII, I'm kind of describing it a little bit more slowly for those who may not know. One of the most iconic characters is Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, of course. One of the most iconic characters of all time. It transcends games. It is a game that defined late 90s culture, late 90s video games. It is the game that basically mainstreamed Japanese role-playing games and turn-based games for the wider audience, especially in a Western world. And people liked games like that before, but there was just some magic about Final Fantasy VII. And basically, the premise of the early game is Cloud Strife joins this group called Avalanche, and they're labeled as eco-terrorists because basically what they're trying to do is destroy this giant corporation that is sucking the lifeblood out of the planet, right? So this is this giant corporation that's draining the planet, and just people are living in squalor, all that stuff, right? So the Cloud and the team of Avalanche trying, and they're the good guys, and essentially take down this corporation, and they find that there's a deeper, darker evil lurking within, whatever. So anyway, Square, the evil big bad corporation, has now released a a Cloud Strife character. Now this is a toy that's available for pre-order. The pre-order I think arrives November 2023, so it's like well over a year before you get this toy. But it looks great. This is like identical to the in-game model essentially. So this is like a classic look. And the deal with this, and this is why I brought this up, and I find it so funny that the company that has made Final Fantasy VII has turned into the company within the Final Fantasy VII game. They are selling it with NFTs. Do you know what NFTs are?
Yeah, I do, and it's I can't really get behind NFTs, man. Like, I get the point of it, but like I don't know. It's just not my thing.
Fair enough. I think the NFTs basically it stands for non-fungible token, and what that means is, imagine if you have a piece of real estate in real life. Great, you own that. That's yours forever. NFTs are a digital version of things that you can own and have that nobody else can own. So if I own the Breakfast of Champions podcast mug NFT, I own it. And if somebody wants to use it, I think they have to pay me like a license fee. There's only so much that I know about this stuff, right? But I find it interesting that they are selling this with an NFT that is a owner certificate. So like you can buy this, but I think you have to have some sort of cryptocurrency wallet. Let me read this, how they're stating it. So actually, instead of selling NFTs, Square is instead bundling the NFT with its Cloud Strife action figure. A pricier Digital Plus edition figurine also nets you a digital copy of the owner's certificate. So it's funny because they are kind of shoveling this your way, and the head of Square, the head of the president of this company that owns this, basically said that he wants to explore NFTs more. And I totally disagree with the concept of NFTs because you just don't know. They are just too new. Same thing with cryptocurrencies, like the values and stuff. They're just going up and down, and it's just like, whereas real estate, you own it, there's always going to be equity on that in some extent. Like I feel like NFTs and stuff they're just too new, so we don't know. And plus, sorry, before you, because I want to double onto this, the NFT server, whatever that they're piggybacking this certificate off of is called Engine. And there is a disclaimer on here that says, warning, in case the Engine service becomes unavailable in the future, you may lose access to the NFT digital certificate of authenticity. So it's not even a given. So for $130 or $160 US figurine, it comes with NFT that you may not even have access to long term. So I just find that kind of like a head scratcher, really. Like, why?
It is. It really is. And I mean, you can see it in the news how many times the cryptocurrency has been hacked, and all these people's digital wallets are now empty. And it happened with NFTs too. And I mean, it's the real downfall to a lot of it is somebody goes, look at this sweet cloud NFT I just got. And then if I screenshot it, well, then if I crop the image, cool, now I own it. Give me money. Like I'm going to go, it's there's too much I don't want to say paperwork, but there's too many ifs or what ifs that happen in that. And I would rather be like, here's my $1 bill. I'm going to give you physical money for a physical product than just say, yeah, here's my make-believe money. Give me a make-believe object. And I'm just going to stare at it through my computer screen.
This is the thing, is like, I understand that this is the way that people are trying to have things go long term. Sure. Whatever. It is not my thing at all. I would rather buy things that would appreciate in value physically, because we know, for example, I could buy games. I showed the Earthbound game on stream yesterday or last week that I bought from Chris at Microgame. That's a game that if you bought back in the day, it was a bargain bin game. You bought it for $20 at KB Toys or any of the other ones. I can't even remember. I don't even live in the US anymore. Any of those, you buy them, you hold on to it, and now it's worth thousands. Like, that's something that's guaranteed to go up. Whereas if I buy Cloud Strife action figure with the digital certificate of authenticity as an NFT. It's like, what does that even mean? Just give me a printout. Let me print it or send it to me in the mail. Like for a piece of plastic, that's $130. This article that I'm reading from geekculture.co basically summarized my thoughts on this. So I'm just gonna read it anyway, because I really agree with this. The irony of the whole project is how in Final Fantasy VII you play as characters fighting against Shinra, a mega corporation that's destroying the world. And here we have a mega corporation, Square Enix, launching a project that is said to be an energy-guzzling, pointless tech that is destroying our world. The poster boy, against megacorp domination is now the one leading the way in real-world destruction.
Oh my God.
Isn't that funny?
It is. It really is. And I mean, the only situation I could see NFTs and cryptocurrency being a benefit is if we all lived in the Ready Player One universe and had VR to where we're just sitting in our room with nothing around us, but all of our things, all of our money is in this virtual space. That's the only way I could see it working, and we're not even there yet with VR. So
no, VR is a tech that I have only ever experienced one time at a Best Buy in Syracuse, New York. Like 6 years ago, I went in for the PSVR tech demo, and it was like the underwater shark cage diving thing. I could probably bring up a photo, but it would take me too long. I actually saw it the other day, and I was like, what a ridiculous thing. So there I am sitting with the controller and this headset. It's like, I'm clearly in a Best Buy. Like, there's no immersion to this at all. Like, it's just not my thing. So I don't know.
One more thing to add to the whole NFT thing. Yeah. If you're a Steam user, Steam has kind of sort of had some sort of NFT within their own little ecosystem.
Really?
When you play games through Steam, you get little trading cards.
Okay, yeah.
And you can sell the digital trading cards for real money, and that real money goes into your Steam wallet that you can then go and buy more games with.
I understand that. Like that.
Yeah, I get that.
It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere outside of its own ecosystem. And I suppose if I'm to play devil's advocate, all right, NFTs kind of are the same thing. Like, you own it, and then I don't think it leaves the ecosystem. Like, you have your BitChain, like crypto. I don't know. I actually don't understand enough about it, but like, maybe we could get an NFT expert on the show at some stage and just pick their brain and just say, why do you do what you do?
Yeah.
Why are you the way you are?
It's so weird to me. It's so foreign because growing up and having physical things be introduced to you, and that's how where value is. Like, I guess maybe I'm too old to understand NFTs. Maybe that's the issue.
You're a boomer. That's your problem.
Maybe I finally crossed over.
Well, there you go. Let's move on to our topic. Topic of the week. What do we got? What's on the dock?
Well, let's see here. Well, we have
weird
things we do with our daily lives. Is that it? That's it, huh?
That's it. And
oh God,
when we started planning for the first episode, I just thought it'd be just funny, just write a ton of things down, and we'll get to them as the show goes on. And I've really just been trying to be really aware of things that I do in my life that are just like weird, and I just have no explanation for them.
I don't think I'm that self-aware to know when I definitely know the one you have here. I do it all the time.
What is it?
All the time. Turning down music when you're at a stoplight.
Why? Why do people do this?
Dude, I could have my windows down. I could be singing a song, loving life, and then as soon as I pull up to that intersection or that red light, what have you, I instantly go, oh, better turn that down. I don't want to offend the guy next to me or the guy behind me or something. God forbid somebody hears what I'm listening to. Yeah,
I know, because I pull up to a stoplight here. Like, I live in Australia. I'm a Yankee Doodle down under. Live in Australia. Anytime I'm driving, it's just Japanese jazz fusion in the car. So I don't want anybody to be hearing like slap bass and sax. Like, I want to be polite. But this is something that I've always done, and I don't know if there is a legit reason for it, like if there's some sort of psychology behind it. Anyways, I'm sure somebody in the chat might be able to echo off of that. Another one I have here is situational acting, and this is something that I caught myself doing. We went to the supermarket yesterday for groceries or something like that, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm doing it." And I do it without even knowing. So basically what it is every time I go to the supermarket, I'm like, okay, I got to go to the refrigerated aisle. I've got to go get some yogurt pouches for my son. He loves the little vanilla yogurt pouches. Oh no, there's somebody standing right there with the fridge door open, standing right where I need to be. So I don't like stand behind them and wait. I like go maybe like 3 feet over and then just kind of like examine things and just wait for them to leave. So that's what I mean by situational acting. Like, I'm in this situation, I'm just waiting for these people to leave. I don't want to stand there checking my phone or something and being rude and really obvious. It's like, go out of the way. Just go, get out of the way. I'll just go and peruse the cheese. Do you know what I mean?
I do it too, and that's where Mrs. KB and I differ. I will sit there and I will be like, there's somebody there. I'm just going to go look at all these vast jars of pickles. Wow, look at that one. Or look at that can of corn. Meanwhile, I need salsa. She will just go right up to somebody and go, oh, excuse me. And then I'm like looking like, how can you just do that? Like, I'll just let that person live in their world. And I'm just going to sit here and peruse the aisle while I wait.
Oh boy. I've depending on if I'm in a rush, like I might do it. But yesterday I wanted to get the yogurt pouches, but the lady next to me, it was like some woman and her mother, like she was taking her sweet time. Like, oh, should we get the tropical yogurt? Like the tropical's really good, but there's also blueberry and strawberry. Like it's like they're making a life-changing decision. I'm like, oh my God, just go. Just get out of the way. It's really purely only in social situations in shops. Yeah. My wife's in the chat. Amber said, this scenario has made me instantly anxious.
Oh, I can definitely agree with that. I mean, I've gotten to the point where, like, if I get super anxious, I start talking about what I need to do and where I need to go within the store. Like, if I'm by myself, I'll be like, all right, I got to go get water. Okay, let's go get water. And then I'm like, all right, I got the water. And what else do I need to get? Like, I'm actually like saying these things like somewhat audibly. So I'm sure people are like, look at this crazy dude. What is he doing? But like, it's just my anxiety. Or when I was younger, I would actually, like, if I was super anxious about something, I would just put my phone up to my ear and act like I'm talking to somebody, so I wouldn't,
really?
try to blend in. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's interesting. I would never, wait for somebody to get out of the way, and I'd go look at the pickles and be like, wow, that's a big pickle. Actually, that would actually be really funny.
It would. You should do it next time.
Especially if I'm by myself. I'm like, wow, that's a big pickle. Wow, that's an even bigger pickle. It's very funny. I've got one here that perhaps you have dogs.
Oh boy.
Weird stuff your pet does.
I mean, the list goes on. Let me tell you, it's pretty vast. The one that gets me, man, is they'll sit there and I'm trying to think how to word it so it's somewhat appropriate for the show, because they'll go outside, do their thing, and then they'll play whatever, and then it's just like they start sniffing and licking certain areas, and I'm like, why? You just went out. Like, they do that when they have to go out. But then they do it I'm like, are you showing off? What are you doing? Like,
animals.
You animal. Like, we don't do that in this house. This is a civilized.
You don't do
civilized home. No, I mean, I can't say I have. But they'll do that, or dude, they'll sit there, and Sammy's real good for this. He'll look at you and he'll do. So you've watched movies and TV shows, right? I mean, I would hope you at least know the actor Ice Cube.
Yes. Yeah. I've got a few of those in my coffee right now.
So you know how he does this a lot?
Yeah.
Like his eyebrow. Yeah. Sammy does that, but he does that for everything. So like if you look at him, you're like, Sammy, how you doing? And he just like turns at you and he's like yes. And he does these facial expressions, man, that are just so out there. He does the most weird things. Like he'll look at you from across the room, but from around the corner. And it's usually in the dark, and he's a red dog, so he has orange. He has like ginger hair, and he has orange eyes, and all you see in the darkness are these orange eyes giving you the 1,000-yard stare.
Oh my god!
So like he does that. Tipper, he bites his own nails. He pets your face. Tipper will actually pet Sammy on the head. Tipper will be sitting there on the couch and he will sit there and just take his paw and just go like this to Sammy. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Is that your dog? Yeah. He's like, oh, Sammy's a good boy. That's a good. I'm like, I've also caught Tipper sitting on the couch watching TV like this, like paws crossed, hanging over the edge of the couch or sofa, whatever you want to call it. And he's watching TV. So then I just to see if he's actually watching it, I'll change the channel, and his ears instantly go up, and he looks at me like, "Yo, why are you? You bring my story back. I'm watching that."
Oh my gosh.
They're super weird, but they're my boys. You know what I mean? It's quirky.
Great. It's their quirks. I've got one cat here in Australia. Her name's Rosie. Where do I even start?
Oh boy.
The long and short, because I like my long-winded stories. When we came here in Australia in 2016 for me to get my residency and maybe citizenship or whatever, and then our plan was to go back home to the States and get Amber her green card. May still do that. State of the world, I don't know. Anyway, we decided to get a cat. All right, because Amber's parents, they have a cat named Allison Catherine.
Oh boy.
So she got knocked up by the neighborhood fluff ball. I don't know. Cute looking cat. But then she had kittens, and then of course I'm a sucker for kittens. Like I just, sometimes I went to the pet barn or whatever the other day, and there was this cat. He was a black cat with white fluff everywhere, like on his paws, his face. And of course I wear all black. I got black jeans, black shirt, my black Vans with the, and I walk in there and I see this cat. I'm like, it's me. So I'm staring at this cat. His name is Edward. So I'm walking into Ed. It's like I'm spiritually connecting with Edward on this. Like I'm going to like the ancestral plane, and I'm like, you're me. So anyway, so he's like rubbing his face against the glass. I'm like, oh my god, I would love it. I'm just a cat person essentially. So we get this cat named Rosie, and Amber wanted the cat. And I was kind of against getting cats because it's like I've got two cats at home. I've got Socks and Daisy in upstate New York. My parents have been looking after them for their entire lives because I'm a bad father. I went out for milk and I never came back home.
Oh God!
So
how dare you?
So we got Rosie, and I fell in love with her even though I didn't really want to get a cat. But ever since we got her, she's just been so weird. She's just like, she'll be standing right at you, looking at you, but her eyes are just going like totally different directions. But she's
like a chameleon.
She's like a hammerhead shark, but her head is normal. Like her eyes are just going in different directions. She's just weird. She's like this Maine Coon. That's what I think that she's got in her blood. And Maine Coon cats are like, they usually pick one person that they like, and that's it. They hate everybody else. So of course I didn't want Rosie. She loves me. I'm just like her knight in shining armor. So anyway, she's got a lot of quirks, but the thing that spawned this topic was every time we get back from the grocery store, we bring our bags, the plastic bags, and she's like, you get up the steps, you put them on the table, and you start unpacking them. Within 3 seconds of us being back at the house, she's on the table licking the plastic bags. And it drives me insane. Like the sound of a cat tongue, which is like 600 grit sandpaper rubbing against plastic bags, drives me nuts. I hate it. And then of course we keep our plastic bags because we've got to reuse our plastic bags nowadays. So we keep them in the pantry. And if you leave the pantry open, even just a crack, she'll get in, and then like you'll be sitting there watching TV with the volume on low, and all of a sudden you hear this. It's just like, get this animal out of here. So it drives me nuts. This is the thing.
Oh, dude.
This is the thing that inspired the topic.
Oh God. I mean, I can definitely agree with you. Like when the dogs are licking themselves, I refer to it as an old man eating a bowl of chili really loudly.
Oh boy.
Like, yeah, I'm like, can we stop? Animals doing animal things, definitely. It's tolerable to a point, and then you're just like, all right, I've had enough. Can we not?
Filthy animals.
That's it.
We've got a few people in the chat, obviously, that are animal people. There was a good one. Our good friend Beowulf in the chat said something about his dog Rudolph. Rudolph sits in what we call his meerkat pose. We don't know where he learned it, but it's cute, and we can never get a picture. So it must be like a mythical moment. It's like trying to capture a photo of Mew in Pokemon Snap on the N64. Every box is a bark box, apparently Kensleby says. So a bark box, for those who don't know, it's like a monthly subscription service for your dog, and you can get treats or toys or something like that. And yeah, their dog Tony just jumps up and shoves his whole head in the bag for snacks while I'm going up to the stairs. So there you go. And I'm sure the list just goes on, but we most of us got pets. They all got their quirks. They're just weird. It's funny because we love pets, even though they're just strange little creatures.
They are. They really are. I mean, you really think about it. It's like, yeah, I want an animal to live inside of my house. Let's do that. Let's make it as the full zoo.
Well, that's the thing. It's like once you have a kid, once you have a toddler, it's just like, you think you know what it's like having an animal in your house. No.
Oh boy.
No.
Oh no.
Anyway, let's head on over to our next segment, Chat with the Champs. We're going to be doing some trivia and giveaways. So if you want to call in or perhaps answer within the chat during the live stream, hey, stay tuned. So we want to give some stuff away here. What are we giving away? What are we giving away, and how are we doing it?
So we have just a few Steam keys to give away. We have some games for all you gamers out there. So there's a couple big titles in here. There's a couple indie titles in here as well. So it's all gonna be random what you can win. So let's see here. So I want to say, Eric, why don't you take that first link there? I'll take the second one, and we'll just go from there.
Very good. So it's going to be a first in, best dressed answer. So we'll be giving away Steam keys. So if you've got a PC that can play games, or perhaps a Steam Deck, we want to give some stuff away to you guys. This was our Go Live notification for today. For those who don't know what that is, because this is a live stream show. When you go live on Twitch, you have a little thing that pops up on people's phones who follow you, and it's just basically prompting, hey, we're live. So today was giving away a ton of stuff on stream today, and in parenthesis, not clickbait. Because
not at all.
We are genuine and want to give things away to you guys as obviously a thank you for listening. So all these Steam keys have been provided by this tall drink of water, Aaron, next to me. So yeah, so we've got the phone number. Where is it? 315-314-4190 if you want to call in. I still haven't configured it so you can talk to them. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I will say though, whenever the winner gets picked, if they want to message me on Twitch, I will get you your code.
Yeah, absolutely. So first question of the day. What was the first commercially successful video game?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What was the first commercially successful video game? So if you want to call in 315-314-4190, we'll pick up the phone. So the thing about the early days for video games, when you think about it, oh, we've got a caller already. My God.
Oh.
All right. Hello, you're live on the show. Who are we chatting to?
Hey, this is Bullfrog.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for calling in.
It's going pretty well. How are you?
Yeah, you know what? We're going great. We got our first Aussie caller on the show.
All right. So, first commercially successful video game. I'm going out on a limb with this, and I'm going to say Pong.
Ooh, is that your final answer?
Oh, now I'm not sure.
No, stay with it. Say yes.
I'm going to say Pong. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Pong. There you go. Pong was the first commercially successful video game. Obviously, a lot of people had Pong units back in the late 70s and in early 80s, which was a very popular thing before the video game crash of like 1983 or whatever. So you've got a ton of great games to choose from here. So Aaron, do you want to read off the list of things? Oh wait, he can't hear you anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he can't hear me. How about Eric? How about you just pick them and you just say who gets what?
Listen to it through that.
Okay, yeah. So we've got a few of them here. Those Who Remain, Doom 64, They Bleed Pixels, V Rally, Game Dev Studios, another one. So, or do you just should we just give them random ones, Aaron? Is that how we're going to do it? We didn't really plan this.
I mean, we could, yeah. All right, we could do it randomly. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, how about we give you a random Steam key, and then you let us know what you think of the game next week, perhaps.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
All right, sounds good. Well, we'll send you a random Steam key here, and maybe call into the show next week and let us know what you thought. All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much for calling in. We obviously don't want to keep it too long. You're calling from Australia. You're calling me within Australia, but it's a New York number, so I don't want to charge your phone a whole lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Thanks so much for chatting.
Thanks. No worries.
Ta-da.
Cheers, mate.
That's great.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was good. All right.
G'day, mate. This is Bullfrog here. Jeez.
God, man, you can't beat that good Australian accent. I think that trumps the UK and all of their many vast accents.
Oh yeah, I know.
But way better than mine. If you don't know the Yinzer, just look it up.
The Yinzer. Oh yeah, I grew up with the.
Yeah, you definitely know.
G'day, mate.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway. Bye.
So this question here, next up we have, this is going to be a tough one for all of you. What company developed the Xbox?
Are you giving these things away or what?
I mean, it's a tough one. It's real hard. You could call in or you can put the answer in the chat. Your choice. Their listeners. First come, first serve.
First one to say it. Whether you call in or not.
Mm-hmm. Well,
looks like we have a winner.
That is Kenzel with Microsoft. Hey, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you down for something good.
There you go. What can we do, chat? Okay, so here's one. If you want to call in, great question for you guys. And I feel like this is an interesting one. We might get a couple people calling in, scratching their heads with this. The U.S. Air Force used what gaming console to create a cluster supercomputer? So you have to kind of figure like what console is reasonably powerful, and what console do you think the U.S. Air Force would choose for something like that? So if you want to call in, or if you want to just drop the answer in chat, please, by all means. First to do it. Of course, yeah, Kenzel, we got the last one with Microsoft. So congrats to Kenzel B. We've got Large Theodore in the chat. Close, but no dice. Close, very, very close.
I don't even think I know this one.
I do. I remember hearing about it when it happened. Oh, yeah, we've got DJ Bob in the chat here with PlayStation 3.
Really?
1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You tried to call, did you? I'm sorry if you weren't able to connect. I do apologize. PS3 is the correct answer. So PlayStation 3 was a very powerful device. Of course, I mean you could even cook some stuff on that. You could cook I remember seeing clips of people cooking eggs on PS3 back in the day.
Oh boy! Wow. I'm sure you could do anything if you put your mind to it.
Tried to call and went straight to voicemail. Okay, I'll restart Skype. I do apologize if somebody's trying to call in. There's no such thing as a stream without technical difficulties. There you go.
Nah, not at all.
What's next? What do we got?
Let me see. I want to get a good one here.
Tried calling and says I'm unreachable. Okay.
Ooh, this one should be good. Okay. Yeah, somebody might know this. I didn't know this. So this one is, which game developer released 4 video games that were dubbed Game of the Year?
Oh, that's a great question.
I was real surprised when I saw the answer.
That's a really good question. Well, while we wait, I need to test this phone number now. Let's see. I'm calling.
Well, you test it. I'm going to read the question again. It is, which game developer released 4 video games that were dubbed Game of the Year?
Well, it looks like it's going to have to be a chat thing here because for some reason my phone number is not working. I don't know why. Why is that? Why is that going straight to voicemail? I've just paid for it like the other day. Calling. I don't know. There was something that I had to configure last time for when I had this issue.
The answer still hasn't been found yet.
The answer still hasn't been found. Well, Well, we'll take the to take the phone number off.
Oh, Large Theodore with the win.
Oh,
with Valve.
Valve. What games were they that were considered Game of the Year?
I want to say it was it was either the Portal games, those I could see, because it doesn't say which games they were, but I could see Portal, and I think it was the Half-Life series.
Interesting.
Or it just might have been the Half-Life series in general, because I have yet to play Portal or the Half-Life games. But congratulations to Large Theodore on that win.
Well, congrats. That's fantastic. Okay, I've restarted Skype. I'm gonna try and call because I would like to field calls here for obviously the calling segment.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not. I don't know. Call a segment. Well, I guess you can't call into the show now because it doesn't work. All right. Well, we'll be able to rapid fire the questions then.
Oh yeah.
Here's a good one. In the original arcade version of Donkey Kong, what was the name of the character that would later be known as Mario?
Ooh.
Mario was never originally known as Mario, and I really like the arcade version of Donkey Kong. I almost bought an arcade of Donkey Kong a few years ago for $500.
Ah man, you should have totally went for it. I would love to. I actually want to build an arcade cabinet.
That'd be good. I know. I think a few of our people have some MAME arcades. So the answer by Marky Mark, I spelled it incorrectly in the chat, but I know exactly what you're going for. And of course, yes, you amended. Jumpman. Jumpman. Of course, he was known as Jumpman because Mario used to jump over the barrels and jump over the fireballs and stuff that would be thrown at you. So congrats, Marky Mark. You've won yourself a Steam key there. I love the original Donkey Kong arcade, and yeah, like I said, I would try and buy one if I could. Actually, I want to have a look on eBay and see how much they're going for Donkey Kong arcade whilst we wait for our next question here.
Let me see.
Donkey Kong arcade. Nothing within Australia.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one too. This question is, what is the best-selling game of all time?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, DJ Bob says he has Donkey Kong on ColecoVision, which is one of my favorite ports. But I can tell you, the best-selling game of all time is definitely not Donkey Kong on ColecoVision.
That's hilarious, though.
I
mean, to see.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say to see Donkey Kong on different systems was pretty interesting.
Oh, it was great.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Frogski with the win there.
Ooh!
Congratulations! It was Minecraft.
Minecraft, interesting. Minecraft is a relatively newer game too. Like it came out in mid to late 2000s. I remember playing it on the Minecraft web browser in high school in my computer programming class, which I
oh god
Don't ask me how I passed that one.
That's great.
Do you want to know how I passed that one? Can I tell you?
Yeah, tell me, because I want to hear it.
Computer programming is a class that you can't pass unless you know like basic math, and I am absolutely garbage at math, like total garbage. Oh god, this is so devious. But I had to do what I had to do to pass high school. I watched somebody type in their username and password to their computer, and I would always submit my work or whatever, like using this other guy's account. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
That's amazing.
That's real.
I mean, that's pretty smart too, though.
That's naughty.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's naughty. Don't do that.
You were definitely thinking.
Okay. Okay. This is interesting. What is the most expensive video game made to date?
Oh God.
The most expensive video game made to date. So a lot of games, they have a lot of they have very high budgets these days. So it's to maybe hone in closer to what it is. It's a more modern game, a game that may have taken millions and millions and millions. So development cost. Avatar, the movie, the game.
That's great.
Oh boy. So yeah, development costs. So like, what game do you think would have taken millions and millions of dollars? Definitely not Mario Brothers. 66JD. That's a fantastic guess, but I mean, if I mean, they reuse sprites for the clouds that were the bushes. Star Citizen. Oh, Star Citizen is a good guess too. And to give a little bit more of a hint, it was it was so the highest development cost for games. So it was said in the chat earlier for a different thing.
Really?
I want to be the guy, the movie, the game. What the heck is that? Oof. Oof. Large Theodore again in the chat with Gran Turismo. Or it's Gran Turismo. Oh my god. Take it. I can't. My brain is not
with
firing.
GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Do you know why I said Gran Turismo? Because I've been looking at the racing wheels for PlayStation 2 for Gran Turismo.
That honestly though, that one, what was that? Gran Turismo 3?
Yeah.
That was, I think, my favorite out of all of them, even with the newest one today.
Really?
I still like, that's the one I play on my Steam Deck the most.
No
to
way.
be honest with you.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Gran Turismo Automatic 5. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
This question here, if you guys don't get this, I'm going to be very disappointed. Just so you know, I'm going to judge pretty hard on this one. In the popular video game 007, which installment of James Bond series did you play in? Or which installment of the James Bond series did you play in?
Melark in chat says Final Fantasy VII. What?
Well, of course, that's it. Yeah, that's it. No,
the name's Strife, Cloud Strife.
Large Theodore with another one, man.
Oh my gosh.
He's just cleaning house.
Wow. What's the correct answer?
It was indeed GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were asking who the actor for James Bond.
No, I was reading it. I'm like, wait, what? Like it threw me off for a second how I was reading it.
Pierce Brosnan.
Old Pierce.
Whatever his name is. Yeah. All right. So let's see if I can give a more difficult one. What position did the creator of the Game Boy have at Nintendo?
Ooh.
And bonus points, I'll give you an extra Steam key if you name the person. So the Game Boy. Oh, no, DJ Bob, it is not missionary.
Oh boy. Can I give a hint? Can I give a hint, because I have something that guy actually worked.
Yeah,
another thing he worked on.
Let's hear it.
Here's your hint. It's a visual hint.
We've already got the answer in the chat.
Do we?
Yeah, left tackle. No, I'm kidding. Large Theodore again with janitor. 66JD came in with janitor as well. Kind of at the same time. So do you want to give? We'll give two of them away there.
We will. I mean, it's not like we don't have enough.
Yes, Gunpei something. Gunpei Yokoi. He was.
Yep, Gunpei Yokoi.
He was originally a janitor at Nintendo, and then of course submitted the idea for that, and eventually left and did the Wonder Swan. So pretty cool. Game Boy, of course, one of the highest selling handheld consoles of all time. I'm sure many of us here have Game Boys, and I grew up with the Game Boy Color and Pokemon Blue and all that stuff. So it's wonderful.
I don't know if anyone would know the other project that actually got him fired from Nintendo, and which what led him to Bandai for the Wonder Swan. If you know that one, I will give you a Steam key.
So he got the project that got him fired?
Yes, the project that got Gunpei fired from Nintendo for. If you know the console he made for Nintendo. Yo, DJ Bob. Oh wait, no, it was I Was a Bullfrog. Look at that. Yes, it was the Virtual Boy. Gunpei Yokoi made the Virtual Boy. It was one of Nintendo's first flops. And they said, no more Gunpei, no more. And unfortunately, the sad news was that when he went to Bandai, he developed the Wonder Swan, but he unfortunately passed away before it was able to go to market.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he didn't even get to see his, you know what I mean? He was riding off the failure of the Virtual Boy, starting somewhere else to try to get back into it. And then.
Yeah. Just didn't get there.
You know.
But yeah, Kenzelby says, not as in bad like the Power Glove. The Power Glove is just bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Power Glove has a pretty interesting history to it too.
Sure does.
But
what do you say we give away one more?
Absolutely.
And we'll give a. See if I can give a. Okay. Here's a good one. This is a great one. What is the highest selling gaming console to date?
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
What is it? Console that had the most. Ooh! Terratris!
Look at that.
Home run straight away. Yes, it is. It is the PlayStation 2, which I have here in my hands. I could do the Vanna White, like, oh, here it is.
Look at you. Yeah, you're going to do that.
PlayStation 2, of course. The PS2 sold so well because it was marketed as a DVD player, of course, because the game discs are PlayStation 2, or sorry, they're like digital video discs. So yes, this is the old fat PlayStation 2 here with the iLink in there. So it's great. So I so cool to hold one of these like as a prop on the stream. So yeah, PlayStation 2, yeah, one of the highest selling consoles of all time. There was another guess by Kenzelby, which is the Wii, Kenzel Wii, I should say.
The Kenzel Wii.
That was what's the official sales numbers? This might be a little nice trivia section here. Highest selling game consoles. We can run some numbers here. List of best-selling game consoles as per Wikipedia. PS2 sold 155 million units. Nintendo DS sold 154. Game Boy and Game Boy Color sold 118 million. PS4 sold 117 million. And listen to this. The Nintendo Switch, 107 million. So
it's getting there.
It's pretty good. So for a console that was released in 5 years ago, it is like getting close to that. It's obviously in the top 5. So it's getting close to the top 3.
I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't hit if not top 3, top 2.
They need some more.
They
need some more games though.
They really do. They really do. But please, to all those who won, please be sure to send me a message on Twitch, and I will get you your keys.
Yes, or let's see, at Kitsune Bites in the chat. I've just put Aaron's username in the chat.
Thank you.
So please send him a message. Or if you can't figure out how to do that, you can message me. I've got everybody's name written down here. So if we don't hear anybody reaching out, we'll reach out to you with your Steam keys. Great show today.
I agree.
lot of stuff that we've given away. Want to remind everybody, if you're enjoying the show, please go subscribe on YouTube, Breakfast of Champions. I'll do all the commands in the chat here for those listening and watching live. But for those who are listening after the fact, please go subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on or follow on Spotify and iTunes, all that stuff. Leave ratings and reviews. We're trying to grow the show as best we can. Bullfrog, yes, you can DM on Discord, but whatever's convenient.
Yeah. If we're on Discord, man, send me there. But whatever works.
I had there was a review from Bullfrog on not on Discord, but on Apple Podcast. So I want to read that out. A 5-star rating and review from I Was a Bullfrog. A fun, chill podcast. A fantastic weekly podcast filled with laughs, music, and gaming news, and hosted by 2 awesome presenters. The best way to start a week, for sure. I absolutely love doing the show. I look forward to it every week. Any closing thoughts for the show before we move to the post show for the streamers that are live right now?
I totally agree with you. I look forward to doing this with everybody. To hang out with you is fun, and then to hang out with everybody in the chat's even more fun. We get to do stuff like this, like a little trivia giveaway. I mean, without the show, what am I going to do? Just be like, hey, does anybody want these Steam keys?
Turn it into a game. If anybody watching or listening wants us to reach out to a possible guest to have on the show, if there's something that somebody does out there in the world and you want us to chat to them about it, whether it's NFTs or video gaming or streaming or stuff like that, please suggest. The sky might be the limit here. I do have a guest that I want to get on the show at some stage that goes by the name of Chris Broad from abroad in Japan. So we'll see. We might be able to get to that point where we bring in the big guns for the guests, but we'll see how we go.
Absolutely.
Very good. Any closing thoughts for the show before we wrap to the post show, or did I already ask you that? I don't know.
You did, and I don't have anything else, man. That was it. It was a good show.
My brain's just that ain't working today.
It's fine. It's Monday for you. It's fine.
That's fine. Well, thanks everybody for watching the post show, like the one that's on YouTube and Spotify and iTunes. We really appreciate your support and appreciate listening. But for now, we're gonna head on over to the post shows for everybody who's watching live. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. But for those not, then see you next week.
See ya.